Arnold, and I'm from Utah State University. My research is on liquid biofuels, the alternatives to gasoline. My research question is focused on farmers and their decision on selling their crop to either feedlots, which are animal institutions for farming, or refineries. So I have four major components to my system. I have the farmers, the refineries, the feedlots, and the market. Within my system, all of these different components interact with each other. So, as I said, the farmers will sell either to the refinery or to the feedlot. And within that interaction, they're selling their corn. And from here, they're getting compensation from the refinery or from the feedlot. Simple, right? So from the refineries, they sell their product, their final product, to the market and do the feedlots. And they get their compensation there. One more important interaction to know. The refineries can sell one of their byproducts from producing the biofuel directly to the feedlot. This is called wet silage, and it is also used for the feedlots. Okay. These are the basic interactions, but there's something called slope variables. And slope variables, while very important to our system, are not directly occur from my system. So a slope variable would be the price of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels directly relate to each of these components in the market. Yet these components have negligible effects on the total global price of fossil fuels. Thus, while it interacts with the system, these components are not part of that system. Let me explain. So the market, the price of fossil fuel directly affects the market. So if the price of fossil fuel goes down, the price the market is willing to pay decreases to the refinery for biofuel. This has a cascading effect. This now decreases the price the refineries are willing to pay for their stock crop to produce the biofuel. This means the quantity of corn to the refinery goes down. This means the quantity of biofuel to the market goes down. This process will continue up until the demand exceeds the supply and the price again starts to rise. The same thing occurs with beef from the feedlots to the markets to the farmers. This is called a negative feedback loop. It means that it's a dampening effect of what is happening on the total market. It is feeding back until it rebalances into the equilibrium. Okay. So we talked about some of the interactions. We also talked about how these interactions are affected. The last thing we want to talk about here are the variables. Each of these different components has their own variables that are directly affecting them. So let's say the refinery can produce X amount of biofuel that's going to sell to the market. Well, it can't buy more product than it can produce or it'll go bad. So if a farmer, multiple farmers come into production at the same time, it affects the prices that we have here. So the farmer who sells the lowest to the refinery will get the contract. Everybody else will have to sell to the feedlot and to the market. These will have cascading effects on all of the market variables that we've discussed already. The feedlot also has its own capacity. And the farmer has its production rate. If it's a bad year, all prices go up. If it's a good year, we're flooded with the market with corn, then the prices will decrease. The last interaction that's very important is the social aspect between the farmers. So, a big barrier into a new market is not having knowledge, not knowing what's actually going on and how to adapt what you're doing to a changing environment. But if my neighbor, a fellow farmer, has been selling to biofuels, and I can go to him and say, you know what, how do I do all of this? How do I start buying or selling to the refinery? Well, then I am more apt to change what I'm doing because now I have the information. So the social aspect about how it relates to this decision making is also very important to this whole socio-ecological system. So there it is. I can make this bigger, I can make it smaller, but this is manageable for the research question that I'm trying to focus on. Thank you.